Do you love yourself just the way you are?
Yes!
Thank you, back row. Thank you. Many of us have been raised in thinking that there is a perfect physical form, a perfect structure, a perfect way of being. And there's a tendency for us to look outside of ourselves and say, gee, I wish I looked like that. Wouldn't that be nice if I could look like them? Then the judgment starts, doesn't it? I'm too fat. I'm too ugly. I'm too whatever it might be for you. Too tall, too short. My hair's too curly. My hair's too straight. I have the wrong color skin. Whatever it is. The simple fact is, you are perfect, whole, and complete, just as you are.
Yay!
Thank you. We're continuing our series on all the colors of love, and our talk today is titled, The Body is Not an Apology. So we're looking at the concept here that all bodies are beautiful, and that God is present in each and every person, in each and every body. I want you to know that your physical form, your physical structure, does not reflect the quality of who you are. You see, you're not really your physical form. We get so attached to our bodies, and that's really not who we are. Deep down, we are spiritual beings, and so our spirit is so much more than who we are in a physical body. But that doesn't mean that we have to be mean to our physical bodies. To be whole, perfect, and complete, to be an authentic human being, means that we need to love ourselves. We need to love the body that we've been given as a gift from the divine. On page 99 of our textbook, Ernest Holmes says, the body is necessary to this plane, since only through a physical body we can properly function here. When the body is no longer a fit instrument, the soul deserts it to function on another plane. So he's telling us that this physical form, this physical body that we have, is not who we really are. We're really our soul. We're really our spirit inside. And the body simply houses that spirit. Our soul, our spirit, is the eternal part of us. It was with God before we came into this physical existence, and it will return to God after we leave this physical existence. But don't we get so attached to our bodies? For some of us, it's a love-hate relationship. So here on this plane, we get the opportunity to accept our body as a gift from the divine. And it's a way that spirit moves about the world through us, in us, and as us. Many people don't see their body as a gift from the divine. Rather, they see it something to be judged, to be criticized, to be punished into submission, even hated. So the body is not an apology, is our talk today. My first point here is that we need to understand what an apology is. An apology is more than saying, I'm sorry. An apologetic way of life includes behaviors or beliefs that one is not entitled to their own joy and power, and that they must take steps to atone somehow for existing the way they do. I want you to know clearly, this is not what we believe in Science of Mind. We don't have to apologize for our bodies, for the gift that God has given us, and for how we are here in physical form. We know that each of us is an expression of spirit. And as an expression of spirit, we have a birthright. Love, joy, peace, wisdom, beauty, life, power are all the God qualities that we can bring forth into the world. And as we bring those God qualities into the world, we recognize that we make a difference. We make a difference for ourselves in how we respond to life, and we make a difference for others in how we encourage them in their life. If someone gives you a gift, do you accept it and be grateful, or do you criticize it? Think about that. What's your modus operandum here? Do you judge every gift that someone gives you? Or do you take it and be grateful, no matter what it is, knowing that good will come from this? You can even sell it on eBay if you don't like it. Then you have more money, then there's good, right? So how do you operate when people give you a gift? Well, God has given you a gift. Spirit has given you your physical body. Do you accept that and say thank you, to be grateful for it and love it, take care of it, nurture it? My first practitioner in Science of Mind is a woman of God. This lady moved from Texas to Kentucky, where I lived, started a teaching chapter. She was a practitioner, starting this by herself, put her little ad out there. I happened to see it, and I was there on her first Sunday. I kept going back. I loved how eloquent she could pray. Her spiritual mind treatments were beautiful. She knows, she lives, she is each of the principles of Science of Mind, and it's evident in her life. Her name is Vicki Jeter. Vicki also has cerebral palsy, which means that her muscle movements and coordination is not always in perfect balance. I've known her for over 12 years now. At times, she's been confined to a wheelchair. At times, she has walked with a walker or walked with a cane. And sometimes she's able to walk with no assistive devices. I've had some deep conversations with her because I was just coming into Science of Mind, and I really wanted to understand this whole perfect and complete deal. And I'm looking at her thinking, you're talking about this, and I'm not seeing what I would judge on the outside as a whole perfect and complete body. She said, thank you, let's talk about this. I found out that she has been on her own journey through this. She has argued with God, she has prayed, she's had others pray for her physical healing. And it just didn't happen. Her healing, though, was in her acceptance of her body exactly how it is. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't take care of it. She still works so that she's able to move, have as much mobility as she can without assistive devices as long as she can. This woman has had a career working for the airline industry. She's written a book. She has a big, big practitioner practice. And now, as of this year, she's enrolled in ministerial school with CSL. I'm very excited for her. She has gratitude for her body, and she blesses it instead of cursing it. It doesn't always work exactly like she would like for it to, but it is the vehicle that God has given her to move about this world. And so she uses it to the best of her ability, and she brings spirit into it. The God qualities, the love, joy, peace, patience, beauty, life, and power. God qualities she's bringing through herself. She is a beautiful spirit. My second point for today is the body is a manifestation of the divine form. Your body is the vehicle that God has given you. Are you driving it around and being happy and proud of what you have? Or are you cursing it, trying to hide it? Your body should be respected and celebrated for the perfect way it houses spirit for you. The Body is Not an Apology. The title of our talk comes from the book, The Body is Not an Apology, written by Sonia Renee Taylor. I wish our slides were on a TV instead of LCD projector so you could see this big black woman laying here with no clothes on. Strategically placed title to her book. This is her book cover. And she says in her book, concepts like self-acceptance and body neutrality are not without value. When you have spent your entire life at war with your body, these models offer a truce. But you can have more than a ceasefire. You can have radical self-love, because you are radical self-love, if you choose to embrace that. Your body is the manifestation of God in form. Sonia Renee Taylor knows that. She embraces her body. Other people might say it's not perfect. They might criticize it or judge it. She is loving her body, and she's teaching others to love their body, to stand in who they are, and to be spirit in action. Are you really wanting to reject the gift that God has given you? The gift of your body? Now, I know there's a lot of talk about being healthy, and there's also much damage that's done to our own consciousness when we're not accepting of our bodies. This doesn't mean that we don't take care of ourselves, because we are given a gift. We should probably take care of that gift. Eat healthy, get plenty of rest, exercise our bodies. My point here is that when we hate our bodies, when we disrespect our bodies, then we're not showing love to ourselves. And shouldn't we love the gift that we've been given so that we can take care of it and share that with others? I want to remind you of one of our spiritual principles, that life is always lived from the inside out. What's on the inside? How do you see yourself? Are you appreciating your body and what God has given you so that you can live then helping others to love and accept themselves? We always live from the inside out. So don't try to fake it. It won't be pretty. When we're loving and accepting ourselves, if we don't love and accept ourselves, we can't love and accept others. Over 20 years ago, I weighed about 100 pounds more than I weigh now. I was not comfortable in my body. I wasn't comfortable in my life, and I certainly wasn't comfortable around anyone else. I didn't like myself, and I didn't like anybody around me. One day, my boss walked into my office, sat down on the opposite side of my desk, and said, "So tell me, are you just fat and happy in your job?" I was so offended. But that statement to me started me on my own quest to lose weight, to take care of my body better. And it was also around the same time as my beginning in my spiritual path, to take that spiritual path seriously. So my third point here is that we should love our bodies, love what we've been given, and that means we can take care of it, take care of the gift that Spirit has given us, so that it serves us well as we move through life. And we move spirit through our own lives and our own bodies, our own physical manifestations. So loving ourselves. Where we live, the culture we live in, has lots of pressure for us. There's a diet culture. Look at every magazine, every TV show, there's always things going on about you should try this, you should eat this, this is the healthiest thing, here's the new thing that's going to save you. Lose 10 pounds in 2 days doing this, you know. And so that diet culture is built in to what we're doing. We are encouraged to work ourselves to the point of exhaustion. That's how you're of value, is when you're working and overworking yourself. For many people, missing sleep is common because they're working so hard. For a lot of people that are into exercise, it's let's do extreme workouts. This is really going to help your body. So we beat ourselves up in what we're doing, either taking care of ourselves, quote unquote, by overworking out, or by what we're eating and what we're drinking that's abusing our bodies. Is this really what your body wants? You see, your body is intelligent. It's created by the divine, and we need to listen to its intelligence within us. Listen to what our bodies tell us. We love and take care of our mind and our heart. Are we doing the same for our physical bodies, our physical form? Practice listening to your body, befriending it, allowing it to have a say in the choices of the activities that you do, how you live and move through life. No, I can't say her name. Wahine is her last name. This lady wrote a poem, and in the poem it says, "And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting for this my whole life." Are you befriending your body? Are you opening yourself up to take care of yourself? I don't know the story of Miss Wahine here, but I have found some information that she is the most famous poet on Instagram. She also has written 2 poetry books. She's a very private woman, and her topics are always centered around love, identity, race, and feminism. Did you know that in the African American community, people who are darker skinned are often discriminated against in that community by people that have lighter skin? So on top of the things that white people think about as body image and our bodies that we struggle with, in a dark-skinned community, you also have that variable here to come in and be another factor to look at in your life. We need to love ourselves. In his book, The Third Appearance, by Walter Starkey, he says, "We have abused our bodies by the unhealthy food we put into them, by the amount of alcohol we drink, by the chemicals we swallow, and by neglecting to exercise them. Rather than honoring our bodies, we have been blind to their purpose and importance." Do you know what the purpose and importance of your body is? Think about that. What is the purpose and the importance of your body? Walter goes on to say, your body houses your spirit or consciousness. In spiritual terms, it is the temple of the living God that you are. No matter what size, shape, or condition your body is in, it is your temple, and it's to be honored as such. Can you honor your body temple by taking care of it, by respecting it? Because when you model that kind of behavior, then others see that, and it can give them that mental equivalent of how to take care of themselves. Do we teach this to each other, and do we teach it to our children? It's important. Our bodies have a divine purpose. We are here in physical form so that we can transport, implement, and protect the spirit that is within each of us. What's holding you back? What holds you back from taking care of yourself? from loving your body, accepting where it is, and being able to make changes so that you can be the healthiest you can be, so that your body can serve you for the longest time that it can. I want to share a story with you. There was an important speaker coming to a small college in South Carolina. The auditorium that day was filled with the students from the university, excited about the opportunity to hear a person of this woman's stature. After the governor introduced her, the speaker moved to the microphone. She looked at the audience from the left to the right. Then she stepped up to the microphone and she said, "I was born to a mother who was deaf and could not speak. I do not know who my father is. I still don't. The first job I ever had was in a cotton field." The audience was spellbound. She went on and said, Nothing has to remain the way it is if that's not the way you want it to be. It isn't luck. It isn't circumstances. It isn't being born a certain way that causes a person's future to become what it is. Then she went back and repeated, Nothing has to stay the same as it is if that's not the way you want it to be. All we have to do is change a situation that brings unhappiness or dissatisfaction. And the answer is to ask yourself this question: how do I want this situation to be? Then we commit ourselves totally to personal actions to carry that out. She stopped. A beautiful smile came across her face. She said, "My name is Azzie Taylor Morton, and I stand before you today as treasurer of the United States of America." Azzie, you see, was the very first African American and the only African American to ever be the treasurer of the United States. I did some research. Azzie Taylor Morton's autograph signature is on dollar bills from when she was the treasurer of the United States. You see, she came from this beginning of this mother that wasn't able to speak, wasn't able to hear. She didn't know who her father was, and she did not let that stop her. She didn't have to apologize for her body, for who she was or how she was born. She could stand in the truth that she is a child of God. And as that, she was able to make something out of her life and encourage all the people around her to make something out of their lives as well. What are we doing with ourselves? What holds us back? What excuses do we use to say, "I'm not enough"? To limit ourselves? If Azzie Taylor Morton can come up and become the treasurer of the United States of America, and this was in the early 70s, then we can be unlimited in what Spirit does in us, as us, and through us. She did not apologize for her body, and we don't need to apologize for ours either. We need to embrace our bodies as that vehicle that Spirit uses. So what is holding you back from embracing your body, from the unique expression of Spirit that you are? Because you are an expression of Spirit. You are God in action. And God is unlimited. Therefore, you are unlimited. You have infinite possibilities for your life. Will you accept that and step into it? Or will you play small in life? So your homework for this week, you knew that was coming, is to spend some time contemplating, how do you stand in your truth? Don't apologize for your unique presence. Be in your truth of who you are. Next, contemplate how to love yourself. You are a divine expression. So love yourself in the expression that you uniquely are. And finally, know that your body is the temple of God. And as the temple of God, treat it with respect. Respect your body, respect yourself, respect Spirit that gave you the gift. That's your work for this week. That's your work for this life. And when you can do this for yourself, you can do this for others around you, to encourage them to be in their truth, to love themselves, and to respect their bodies. Let us pray.